What is going on, guys? Welcome to Big Green Counter-Strike Bets, where we're doing breakdowns, predictions, analysis of all the important upcoming CS matches. We'll be giving out bets, some parlays maybe, so stay tuned to the end if you want more of that. Be sure to subscribe, hit that like button. We had the first video drop yesterday and we got a pretty good response, so I'll probably keep doing these, keep the content coming. You guys just let me know what you think. Anyway, we're going to go over, do a quick recap of yesterday's action, which was pretty good. We had a pretty solid day. Most of the predictions came through. Honestly, I think all of them came through. It's not often that happens where you have a perfect day, but you take it when you get it. So let's take a look here. Gave out at the end of the video, gave out a three-leg parlay. I thought this was pretty safe, and it did come through. Spirit, Vitality, Big, minus 137. If you hit that for a couple units, there you go. Uh, and those were pretty safe bets, and the games went as we thought. It wasn't like they were really close matches or anything. Complexity had a little bit of a comeback towards the end of their game against Spirit, but I mean it was one-way traffic pretty much, which is what we expected, and that's what we want. So there you go for that one. And then the eight-leg degen. I mean, this is more just a fun thing if you want to throw down a couple dollars. But if any of you did, I hope some of you did, because you got a nice payday at plus 2,400. Okay, we threw this down, mostly favorites, and then we decided to take out Astralis. We were a little sketched out about this. We sniffed this one out, and we were right. We were right on the money. Um, OO Nation, they upset Astralis, and it didn't look that difficult for them, to be honest. Um, so I hope some of you rode on this. Maybe made a little extra money there. Um, like I said, I don't expect to hit many of these. That's not realistic to be throwing around eight-leg parlays all the time and expect them to hit. It's more of just to keep it interesting and you know make it fun. But we found a good one and we got it. So there's that. So here are the results for yesterday. Started down here, all these best of ones here. I wish I could have had some more content maybe. Figure out a way in the future, maybe if I can do like a live thing. Obviously, these matches, all these best of threes were, the matches were decided who would play who after these opening matches here. So I couldn't really make a pre-match videos about these. Um, so like I said, maybe in the future we'll do if we get on Twitter or something, or we'll do like maybe we can do a live stream sometime if I get a good response from these videos, and then we can start to you know have a little more input into some of these tournaments as they're going on, as the matches get decided midday. Um, so we had Heroic versus Sprout. We thought this was going to be a stomp, and it was. Yabby, I mean, the guy he fit in just like we thought he would. Played very well. Surprised to see Stavin, the worst performer on the team, but that's not a terrible thing. You want everybody to be able to perform, and that's that's what makes the great teams great. Shush, dropping 24 kills plus 17, and Jabby over here 13 and 8. That's a great look. That's exactly what we want to see. So poor Sprout, but they had it coming to him. And then we got Spirit versus Complexity. Another one where we thought, the firepower was just going to be way too much. Um, and we were right about that, but not exactly on about who it would be. A Chopper. I mean, he has his odd game here and there where he plays really well, but I don't think anyone was expecting him to top frag 26 and 16 and just blow him out of the server. Uh, and also Junior. I mean, we were right about results, but the players that performed in a lot of these matches was the thing that was a little bit shocking. Junior, 21 and 16, the guy went positive. I mean, God bless him. Congrats, man. I mean, he lost, but at least he went positive, so there's that. Spirit just kind of controlled this map. It did end up going to Ancient. We thought that they might take the chance there, and you know, pretty comfortable for him. We had Big versus Order, stomp match, 12 to 3 on the first half for Big on CT side. I mean, you knew that it went to nuke and Big is starting on CT side. That is not a good sign for Order. They were screwed from the beginning there. So as expected there, 16-7. We got Outsiders versus Imperial, another match where we really thought Outsiders were just going to be too much for Imperial. They're too solid, really, is what it is. I mean, look at that. That's great. Every player is positive. Um, you got James just really delivering a great performance, 24-6, and that's what when James gets comfortable, that's the kind of thing that he does. We highlighted that if it did go to Inferno, James specifically on Inferno is great. He has a great IQ on this map. He does on every map, but specifically on Inferno. If you ever get a chance to see them play on Inferno, just watch and pay attention to James and look for him to be in clutch situations and to win most of them. Uh, he just gets it. He knows how to play these bomb sites on Inferno, and he knows where to put himself, and he always makes the right decision, it seems like. You can't clutch against this guy. And he had some of those in this match. He actually ended the match here. You see the highlight with a 1 versus 3 clutch. So yeah, there it is again, coming through. Game time, baby. And then we have 0-0 Nation versus Astralis. Okay. I hate to see it. You hate to see it. But, Astralis is going to Astralis, and they managed to choke another easy, what should have been an easy matchup for them. Credit given where credit's due, 0-0 Nation played a great game, and they have been playing better since they picked up this Godsent trio of Dumao, Lotto, Taco. I think it was a great move for them. They're showing a lot more than they have previously. They're turning the meme around. They might actually turn into a decent team here. We'll see. It's a little early to say that, but so far so good. We were looking for Try and Dumao to really perform. Lotto did very well as well. Yeah, that's what we were saying. We wanted we're really looking at Try, which I'm surprised and I'm happy that we got this performance out of him because we'd highlighted that he had been a little bit lackluster as of late. Not showing the same level of play that he'd been showing on 9Z ever since he got over to 0-0 Nation. He looked like he just hasn't been as confident, it seems like. And we were looking towards this duel between Try and Farlig to see how this match was going to play out. And Try stepped up, 24-8. He was dominating the server, MVP of the match. So yeah, I mean, we got what we wanted, and unfortunately, Astralis, they just really bungled. There was just something about this matchup, looking at it, where it was just freaky, and something about those odds, minus 435 for Astralis. It really just, I did think Astralis was going to win this match. It could have been some hopium as well. I did think they would win it though, and but I was warning everyone to kind of stay away from this one. I didn't really want to bet this, and I did end up taking it out of the parlay that I gave because it's just at minus 435. You can't trust Astralis in a best of one against these kinds of teams. Unfortunately, they've proven time and time again that they have a tendency to choke, and especially with the way that the players have been performing. I mean, blame F. We said that if he didn't have one of his mega carry matches, and if he didn't, put up some insane rating like he normally does, that's exactly what 0-0 Nation need to run away with this, and that's what happened. I mean, he played well. He had an average performance, a good player's performance. Obviously you want to go more positive than that, but 18-7 on a team that's getting destroyed, 16-6, that's fine, but that's just not good enough. That's not the carry that you need, especially when config. I mean, what is happening? What is happening with config? 5-19. It's such a fall from grace from where he was, and man, I like this guy a lot. I really do, and it sucks because his ceiling is so high. Like this guy is good, man. He really is. But he's just so inconsistent. He'll have these matches where he just looks like he's one of the top riflers in the world. His reactions, his flicks, his headshots, he's just on it. And then he just goes on these long stretches where he just puts up terrible numbers. He doesn't do anything. He's losing all his duels. And I hope that this guy can find some form and figure out what's going on. I don't know if it's a mental thing. I don't know what it is, but he had a really bad game, and it seems like it's been getting I don't want to say it, but it does seem like it's been getting progressively worse, his performances, since the arena match that they had. I think it was the Blast Finals. It was some Blast Finals they had in the arena in Copenhagen, where the crowd was absolutely insane for Astralis. They had that really incredible match against Heroic where they beat them, and Config had like a life performance. And ever since then, it's just kind of been downhill for him. So, yep, Astralis did choke this, unfortunately. So, then we have MOUZ versus Pain. We did say that we thought this was going to be the closest match of the day, and it was. It was the only best of one here, the only match that went to overtime, and it was close. It was back and forth. MOUZ pulled it out in overtime, which I'm glad they did because they really needed this win. They couldn't afford to lose to Pain, just mentally. Um, for the mental of the team, they really needed to get this done, and they did. So I'm happy to see that. Torzi was looking sharp, hitting a lot of great shots. Um, so there's that. And then we had TYLOO versus Vitality, which we said would be a stomp for Vitality, and it was. Not much to talk about here, really. Vitality did what they needed to do, and that's that. MIBR versus Movistar Riders. This was close. I thought Movistar would. I thought it would be easier for them, but we did highlight that they were coming off the biggest win of their careers just a couple days ago, um, and they would likely have been out partying and things like that, and then have to travel the next day and then play a tournament in a different country. So there were those circumstances where we were a little wary about how that was going to play out. Um, they had 16-3 to MIBR on Nuke previously, just earlier this week or last week. But we thought that MIBR would perform better, but I don't think we were expecting them to bring it this close. I wasn't, at least. I thought that Movistar would win it a little more comfortably, and they were down. It was not looking good for Movistar. MIBR started on the CT side of Ancient, 11 to 4 half. At that point, I still thought Movistar was going to pull it out, but I was a little nervous. I thought maybe partied a little bit too hard. Maybe they didn't take it seriously, but they did what they do, and you know, they brought it together, and they stepped up and they brought it back 2 to 12 on their CT side. So they managed to pull that one through. Happy to see that. Okay, and that brings us to tomorrow's matches for July 6th. Let's take a look here. Um, I'm not bothering with any of these national garbage matches, whatever's going on there. We're just going to look at Cologne. So we're going to be looking at Order versus Imperial, MIBR versus TYLOO, Sprout versus Vitality, and Big versus Astralis. And then maybe we'll do a little preview here. It's hard to say. I can't really give you too much here because I don't know who they're going to be playing. But I will say that regardless of who wins these matches, whether it's Order or Imperial, and whether it's MIBR or TYLOO, I do think that both of the teams that are already seated in here are favored. So regardless of who 00 Nation has to play here, I think they're favored. And I also think MOUZ are favored against both of these guys. So we'll look at that a little bit. But we'll try to get through this a little bit quicker. We did go a little bit long yesterday, but there was a lot to talk about and a lot of unknowns coming into the first matches of the tournament. So now that we have an idea of kind of where these teams are at and what they've shown already, we'll be able to get through this a bit quicker. And also, honestly, just in some of these matches, there's really not as much to talk about. Um, Order versus Imperial. It's hard to really give breakdowns on Order and TYLOO games because they're supposed to lose these matches. Like they're not at the same level as these other teams. They're more it's like an experience for them. They're coming in to try to gain experience and they're expected to lose. So, you know, it's always worth, if the odds are good, taking small shots if you can get great live odds. Upsets do happen, but I don't expect these teams to do very well to win many games. But let's just get into it here. So we've got Order versus Imperial. These are all best of threes, by the way. Yesterday we went over some best of ones, and now we're on to the best of three phase. So it's going to be best of threes from here on out, which is much better for betting. It's easier and it's not as risky if you want to lay down. Um, You know, you want to lay down some money. You don't really want to lay down a shitload on a best of one where just, you know, one poor decision can cause a momentum swing that makes the map go completely the opposite direction than you expect. So Order versus Imperial, I'm just gonna say outright, Imperial should take this. They need to take this. Um, I think if Imperial loses this match to Order, that is just the team should just disband at that point. Really, they still haven't won since Cloud9, since their mate. Well, okay, maybe that's a lie. They beat Finest 16-12 in a best of one, and well, Northern Forces. That's not really a team. That's bots. Um, Okay, so they've won two best of ones since their Cloud9 series, where they had their life performances against the choking Cloud9. But, you know, needless to say, it is not good. It is not looking good here since this finest win, or, even before that. They're losing to everybody, and they're losing bad. Um, and then you've got Order over here that's just doing equally bad. The only teams they beat are Australian teams. They're domestic rivals that, it's the clash of trash here, really. Um, but I think Imperial really should win this, and they should 2-0. It's just, again, like these guys have so much experience, and they're playing a team in Order who have previously they haven't shown anything. They just really haven't shown anything. The map pool again is not extremely relevant, although it does favor it does favor Imperial. Imperial's the higher seeded team, so they're going to have the first ban. We'll take a look at this because it is different from yesterday how the veto works here. So yesterday we had the best of ones where it's going to be, you know, they'll be doing it like this. Here we have each team gets to veto one map and then pick one map. So we've got Team A, presumably Imperial, is going to remove the first map. Then Order will remove the second map, and then Imperial will pick a map. Order will pick a map, and then again, remove one, play the last one left. So I think here Imperial will likely veto Ancient. I mean, it is their permaban right now, and it will open up. If there's any way for Order to get anything done here, it's going to be through this veto, where there are some chances for them. If Imperial does go through and they stick with their permaban, they ban Ancient. That's going to leave them open here to either nuke or Vertigo. Okay. Um, Order did play big yesterday on nuke, it was a ballsy move because big is good at nuke. But they went for it. You know, they got what did they get? 7 rounds, I think. Yeah, they got 7 rounds, which that's good against big. That's really all they could ask for. Um, Imperial pretty poor on nuke though, so we'll see. Maybe they go for that. Really, what they want to do is go for Vertigo. That's their best map by far. I've seen them have some okay matches on it, and as we talked about yesterday, it is absolutely dog tier for Imperial. It's so bad. Um, so that is where it could get a little dicey. That is, if if they let this come through, if they ban Ancient and then Order bans Overpass, right? Which is a good map for Imperial, so I think they definitely will do that. They ban Ancient, they ban Overpass, and then Order gets to pick. Do they want to play Vertigo? Do they want to play Nuke? I think those are their two best options there. And who knows? Maybe they can get it done on Vertigo. It wouldn't shock me. But Imperial should win it, even if it's 2-1. I think Imperial will take this. I'm not going to involve myself too heavily on this. We'll look at the end. Maybe we'll do we might do another greasy parlay. There's 4 matches that are set up right now, so maybe we'll do like a greasy 4-leg parlay. Um, just try to get some good odds. Personally, I would take a live angle here. Maybe wait for the veto, see what the maps are. If Vertigo comes through, maybe wait for Vertigo. Maybe wait and see if Order can take Vertigo from them, and Imperial are down 0-1, maybe take a shot live on Imperial when the odds get much better, you know? I feel like that's one of the only angles to play this because I'm not confident enough in Imperial to play them straight up. Let's take a look at their odds here. Yeah, minus 425. You know, how am I going to bet that? How am I going to bet Imperial, a team that is showing this kind of performance here? How can I trust them at minus 425 on a straight bet? I mean, it's not smart. It's not a smart thing to do. Both of these teams really need wins. I know, I'm sure Order would love a win, and they probably feel that this is one of their better opportunities they have to get one. So I'm sure they're going to be taking this seriously. I'm sure they don't like being, embarrassed like this all the time. I mean, these guys have gotten a lot of support, and they just don't show much. I've heard some strange statements made by them, like at the major. I think after the major, they were, I don't remember who it was, but one of these guys was talking about saying that they barely practiced, they barely had any prac time for the major. I mean, how does that happen? Like, how do you? That's the main tournament for the year. That's what everybody is all eyes on you, and that's where everyone is expected to perform, and that's the dream of every professional Counter Strike player is to play in a Counter Strike major. So I don't know how you go into a major and don't have practice time. I mean, just do whatever you have to do, arrange everything around that. So that's a little strange, a little puzzling, but it does explain why they are so bad. Um, so yeah, I would bet Imperial, but I wouldn't do it outright. I would probably wait for better odds. Um, yeah, so let's just move past that one. Just be careful there. Now we can take a look at this also. We'll look at this for some of the other matches. Might be more useful than here. But this tool is actually kind of nice. I don't know if I feel like a lot of people don't really use this or even know it's here. But if you go to HLTV, you have the match page, and here we have Order versus Imperial. If you go over here where it says odds, you know, you might think you just click this and it just shows you what the bookmaker's odds are for this, but it actually brings you to another page where they have everything is laid out very nicely. The little analytics summary here, where they'll show the head-to-head, they'll show the previous match history, they show you a breakdown of how often a team wins and in what fashion: 2-0, 2-1, 0-2, 1-2. You know, this is kind of useful. It's useful information. You'll if you take a look at this for certain teams, you'll find some nice patterns. You'll see things like, for example, Ecstatic, like formerly Ling B Vikings. They have, I think they have like an insane 2-1 rating. They win 2-1 like a very high amount of times. Um, and you can try to, play off things like that. So, you know, if you ever want to take a look at this, you might find something that helps you. It'll show you the map breakdown and how often a team bans it first, picks it first. Um, maps they're on losing streaks. Like here, this is good information. Imperial on a 4-map losing streak on Overpass, which is a little bit surprising to me because Brazilian teams and Overpass it's like peanut butter and jelly. They've always kind of gone well together, and Imperial has shown some good performances on that. I believe they actually, I mean, I hate thinking about it, I don't like talking about it, but I think they beat Cloud9 on Overpass in that overtime match. Try to erase that from my damn memory. Um, and then yeah, I mean, look here, Vertigo, Imperial, 6-map losing streak, you know. So as I said earlier, I think that might be an angle to play if Vertigo does come through because Order bans Ancient. Or I'm sorry, because Imperial bans Ancient. You can see it is their first ban 100% of the time. So there's a good chance this comes through. And if it does, yeah, I might look to play off that somehow because they are not good at it. Um, where are we here? And it is the absolute best map for Vertigo. So if there's any chance that Order takes a map, this is going to be it. This is it right here. So look out for that. Okay, next we have, I gotta move it along here. Next we have MIBR versus TYLOO. This is MIBR's match to lose. Really. This is another one where, these first two matches I don't love. I don't want to get too super involved in either of these, like straight betting. Because again, it's like Imperial should win, but minus 435, or minus 420, whatever it was, I can't touch that. And then MIBR versus TYLOO, again, MIBR should win this, and it shouldn't be too hard. Minus 225 is a better price. But, you know, it's a close match. Um, More because of the form that MIBR has been showing lately. It's close. I think, like, MIBR peaking, they destroy TYLOO. But TYLOO does have some flashes sometimes where they have, individuals pop off. They have good individual performances. I've seen it where sometimes you just get into the server, or they get into the server, and these guys are just hitting all their shots, and it can fluster some of these other teams because you're expected. All the pressure's on you. I mean, you're expected to beat this team, like the Chinese teams and a lot of the Asian teams that have where the scenes are not as developed. They're expected to destroy these guys. So when they get into the server and you go down 0 to 4, and these guys are one tapping you all over the place, like Ferrari peeking around corners, and you're just getting destroyed. It can kind of crush you a little bit. So I think that really plays into a lot of the upsets that you see from some of these Chinese teams, coupled with the fact that there's not a lot of footage, there's not a lot of data on these guys on a lot of the Asian teams, and they do play different. Every scene has like their own style that they kind of play, and it can be it can be awkward to play against a style of team that you don't have a lot of experience against, and then you're in game, and it can just compound. Looking at the map pool again, we talked about this yesterday. There's really just not enough data on TYLOO to look at this reliably and try to make predictions based on this. Overall, the map pool is going to favor MIBR, um, on most maps here. It's a 7 map team. They don't have a permaban right now. Um, Head to head, MIBR is 2-0 against them. But close matches. You can see they're not exactly stops. Got a 16-12 win for MIBR on Mirage, and then a 22-20 on Dust overtime win. Um, that that could be a little concerning. Um, and again, like this is why it doesn't, it's MIBR's best map statistically, and not a great one for TYLOO, 33%. But then, you see that they're taking it to them here. They're almost winning that map. So this can be deceiving. You really want to take a lot of these map percentages with a grain of salt because, styles make games like a lot of times. So even if the percentages seem to favor one team heavily, it just could be a poor style matchup for one team. So, I mean, I'm going to go with MIBR here, but I don't have super, super high confidence like I did like when Vitality played TYLOO yesterday. Like I knew that Vitality was going to win. They had to win. Um, and they had the players to make that happen, ZywOo and all that. But here, MIBR, they don't really have a ZywOo. They've got, Exit. They're all pretty good. Turtle is in a little bit of a slump, I believe. He's had some good plays, and I've seen him have some good clutches recently. And I feel like he is good for those the odd clutch here and there, where it's like a 1v3 or 1v4, and this guy is like spinning around 180ing on bomb sites, and like he's spinning around and on overpass on A site he's hitting the guy dumpster and then doing a 180 and flicking one tapping the guy in banana, things like that. He'll have like these crazy miraculous plays, but overall he's not been solid. So there's that. You got BRNZ and Joda Cello. Exit is, he's okay here and there, um, but they don't have like a star player to really carry the team. So I'm going to take MIBR, but be cautious about this. Um, you know, they're on um, a 3 map losing streak here. So they have shown that their form is kind of suffering. They took it close with Movistar. So it's it's not like they look terrible, but a loss is a loss, and they've got three of them here. They really need this win, and I think they'll get it. I don't, you know, if they lost four in a row, that would be their first, or that would be their worst. Yeah, that's their worst streak in a long time. That would be their worst losing streak in months and months, really. Yeah. So I think for their own mental, they really need to win this, and I think they'll be pretty focused on winning this. I think they'll be a little more careful. Um, I saw a comment down here that was pretty accurate. Yeah, this guy right here. So I feel like if MIBR lose to yet another Chinese team, it could cause irreversible mental damage to the players, and I kind of agree. Like, they had that 2-0 loss against Rare Atom, which is like a newer Chinese team. I believe that this was the first tournament that this team ever entered, Rare Atom. So to get 2-0'd by an Asian team and it's their first major tournament, that's a bad look. That is not a good look, and I'm sure that kind of affected them mentally. They have to know that they're better than that. So um, to lose again, if they lost again here to another Asian team, if they lose to TYLOO and then they're on a four-map losing streak with two of the teams taking maps off them being different Chinese teams, that is not good. That is not good for the players' mentality. So I think that they'll get it done here. Uh, Probably just maybe throw MIBR in a parlay or play live odds and look for MIBR to win this one. But I would be careful. I wouldn't invest too much on that. And then we've got Vitality versus Sprout here. Okay. Um, Vitality had a pretty, they had a rough day. Um, they did well against TYLOO. Where are the results here? They did well against TYLOO to start, as they should have. So even still, letting TYLOO take nine rounds. That's more than I would have liked, but it wasn't like it was super close or anything. And then Vitality's second match here, Movistar Riders 2-0. I don't think many people saw this coming. I mean, Movistar have been playing well. Like they just won ESL Challenger Valencia against outsiders, as we discussed yesterday. But to 2-0 Vitality, I mean, that's great, man. That's really impressive from them. And the second map, especially Overpass, was Vitality's pick, and they looked horrible, man. 12-3 half with Vitality on the T side. They could not get anything going. They were getting shut down. Sun Pius was just he was just pinning them to the freaking wall. You know, 46 and 20 over the series, plus 26. Um, and yeah, just he was really neutralizing ZywOo on Overpass from what I saw. I didn't see the whole series, and I only caught the second half of Overpass. But from what I saw, um, ZywOo was doing his best. I believe he was top fragging. Um, yeah, but even still, he went negative, and he just couldn't. There was just nothing to show really from the rest of the team, so he couldn't carry. And they got smacked down, 16-4. So going into today, that is something to be aware of. That it doesn't seem like Vitality is exactly peaking. Um, and if Movistar can do it, Sprout might be able to as well. I think Vitality will win. Sprout is not as finished of a team as Movistar. Um, they are international, so I believe they speak English. They were formerly an entirely German team, but they've recently added a couple Danes and what is this, Belgium? Romania. I'm showing my American stupidity. Um, so I believe they speak English. These damn pop-ups, man. As do these guys. But Movistar, they've been together for a little bit. They've had a lot of time. Spanish team, all Spanish speaking, and they just seem to have a much more ironed out game. Whereas Sprout, they just recently added Lonix in place of Marix, I think it was. So they're still kind of working it out. Solid players. Spitty is very good. Slack's pretty good opera. Rawls is a great IGL and can also frag. Stairs, pretty decent. And from what I've seen from Lonix so far, he's also, quite a good player. But again, the quality of players on this side and the system. They've got Zonic, the greatest coach of all time, coached Astralis to all their major victories, and really, you know, just he's a presence. He when he coaches, you listen, and he definitely has input. He's not like these North American coaches that just sit behind the players and pat them on the back and tell them they're doing great. Give them a little massage, maybe. These coaches are no joke, and Zonic will have input. And I think that overall the Vitality game plan is just going to be too good here, and Sprout don't really have the firepower to overcome it in the same way that Movistar did with Sun Pius. He's a great player, and then you also have some other players on Movistar that can really pop off, and who are also coming off. They're peaking Movistar. They're coming off their best win ever, and it's perfect timing for them. Go right into Cologne after that win. So everything is really lined up for Movistar. Whereas Sprout, they haven't been playing as well lately. They hit a spot where they were doing like, they were. I mean, look at this. They were doing incredible, man. They were really hitting it. Um, oh gosh, I remember this. I got burned on this one. They 2-0'd MOUZ. I think this was the next day. Like they played MOUZ in a series and then had to play them again the next day in a best of three. They 2-0'd them twice, man. So they do have a potentially higher ceiling than some other teams, but then I don't know what happened. Is this where they added Lonix? Um, I'm not sure, but just as of the past month or so, they've been hot and cold. I mean, they look pretty cold here, but they've had some better results. They obviously got stomped down by Heroic. There's not much shame in that. That was kind of expected. But then beat Pain 2-1, which is good. That's a good result. Give them some confidence there. But they're not in their best form for sure. So um, I think Vitality should take it for that reason. Um, and also just it would look really bad for them if they get 2-0'd by Movistar and then they get eliminated by Sprout. I just can't see it. Um, Vitality they had been struggling since the start of the lineup. Everyone thought that this thing was just gonna right off the bat, just because of the quality of the players, they thought it was just gonna click and these guys were gonna be like, ready to contend for titles straight away. But that definitely hasn't happened. The English has really taken a toll, I think, especially on Zaiwu, um, having to translate everything to English and just in those situations where a split second call can really affect the way that the round is decided. I think there's just been some communication issues, and they've started to sort through that. They had this run was really nice, and they beat G2. That was a great result for them. Obviously, in the finals there, they got dominated by Navi, but again, not much shame in that. But then this Movistar loss, man, it just does not look good. Again, Movistar, they're on a streak, they're peaking, but even peaking Movistar, like Vitality should really take care of them. So that's a little concerning. Um, but I think they'll turn it around here. So Vitality are going to remove Ancient 100%. They do not play Ancient. Apex has said that he does not like that map. So they remove Ancient. I'm assuming that they're the higher seeded team. If anyone knows, if anyone has any idea about how to find the seedings for these tournaments, sometimes you can get them, but other times they just don't have it listed, and I don't know exactly where to get that. I think it's safe to assume Vitality is higher seeded than Sprout. Um, so they're going to be Team A, so they're going to be removing the first map, followed by Sprout removing a map, and then Vitality picking a map. So Vitality will remove Ancient, and then Sprout will remove either Dust 2 or Mirage. And that's where I think they're kind of screwed here in the veto. Um, because, I mean, the percentages aren't through the roof or anything, but Mirage is pretty terrible for Sprout, and it's solid for Vitality. The individuals who all have experience on Mirage, I think that's just going to be too much for Sprout if it goes there. And then if it goes to Dust 2, Sprout, they're okay. They've shown some good results on it, but um, 67% sure, that's good. But it's more about just Zywoo. I mean, Dust 2 is it's the Opera's paradise, and I think Zywoo is just going to run circles around them if it goes to Dust 2. I don't think Slacks can compete with him in the head-to-head. Um, he's just better everywhere. He's faster. He's more accurate. He takes better fights, makes better decisions. Zywoo does. So I think Zywoo will end up shutting him down, and then from there, I don't really know how they get into this game. If your Opera can't get anything going, that's going to be rough for them. So I think if it goes there, Vitality will definitely take it. Um, I think since they're going to ban Ancient, that's the only problem here. That's going to leave them open for Inferno, which is great for Sprout and pretty bad for Vitality. Let's take a look at their results here and see what's going on. Oh god, G2 is just smacking them down on Inferno. They don't play it often, you know. So yeah, the results are not good. They've only ever beat, well, not ever, but in the past 3 months, they've beat Complexity and a close match against MOUZ on Inferno, and that's a little concerning. That's not great. Um, I mean, you do have to consider that the other teams here that they've played it on, I don't know why they've only played like beasts on this. Lose to Navi, no shame. Lose to Heroic, you know. And then G2 3 times on it. That's a little rough, but you can understand those losses a little bit. But yeah, I think they still can, even though these numbers look really bad. I think Vitality can still beat them on Inferno. I'm not saying that Sprout will definitely take that, but that is going to be their avenue into this series is for Sprout to take Inferno. And if they do that, we'll see where the third map goes. I would anticipate Vitality to win this though, and yeah, I mean if you look at the head-to-head here, they have had close matches. Um, Vitality's up 3-0 obviously against them, which is another thing you can look at. I mean, historically, Sprout haven't figured it out yet. But they did play on Inferno um, on March 16th there, and it went to overtime. And Vitality, they squeaked it out. They did it, but 28-22, So be aware of that. Let's move on though. Spend too much time here. Um, Next we have Big versus Astralis. Okay, so this is one of the I think this is going to be one of the closer matches here. Pretty split on the predictions. Okay, so both of these guys are coming off pretty bad days. You know, Big, they beat Order. They did what they were supposed to do on Nuke. Fine, sure, great. Um, but it's not something you're going to be jumping up and down. They're not like, jumping out of their seats, like running and hugging each other after that win. Like it's more of, okay, good. We did what we had to do. Um, and then they play Outsiders, and I think this surprised a lot of people that they got slapped down by Outsiders. Maybe that's a little bit strong. Maybe they didn't get slapped down. I mean, the actual scores were close. Um, Kind of funny, 6-9, 6-9, 7-7 on both of the maps. Um, but you know, I think a lot of people expected Big in this form to beat Outsiders, who had recently just replaced 2 players. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Look at the streak here they've got going. 2 wins over FaZe, Cloud9, and then you've got Outsiders here who are. It's kind of a mixed bag. Um, the quality of the wins isn't great. Zero Zero Nation, Sprout, Rare Atom. It's like, yeah, you should beat those guys. Lost to Movistar. So I think this kind of surprised a lot of people. And I mean, if you look at it, it's, everything was just kind of clicking for them. All the players are doing their jobs. And then, they did what they had to do. I'm surprised that Big had previously I don't think it was their perma ban, but they have not played Inferno a lot. They've been avoiding it for the past few months. We really hadn't seen anything out of them on Inferno until they played what was it, last week against Cloud9 on Inferno. I think that was a surprise pick. They let that come through, and they shocked everybody on that. They upset Cloud9 on Inferno after not really playing that map at all. I think everyone was expecting Cloud9 to run away with that. They thought it was stupid that Big let it come through, um, and then Big just shut everyone up. So kind of curious that they can do that on Inferno to Cloud9, but then Outsiders, you know, had their way with them. But I say kind of curious, but at the same time, we do know that this is a great map for Jame, for his calling and for his individual play, his clutching and things like that. So, yep. And then Dust 2 comes through, and Outsiders take that as well. And that's, Dust 2 can kind of be a toss up. So, not looking too much into this because it was pretty close and it could have gone either way. Um, but we do have to consider that. And then Astralis had an equally bad day. Where are we at here? Where the hell is? Oh yeah. So you know, this is they can't feel good about this. The 0-0 Nation loss. It's not good. It's definitely not good. After that, they went on later in the day to 2-0 Complexity. But again, just like big, beating Order. You know, Astralis 2-0 in Complexity. They're not going to be jumping out of their chairs, going and hugging each other and like high five. Oh, you're the best, man. We did it. Like they're supposed to 2-0 Complexity. If they don't, if they even 2-1 them, they probably would have been upset if they dropped a map there. They're supposed to do this, and so that's not going to really give them much confidence. Um, so both these guys had their confidence shaken, and I think it's a pretty close matchup anyway. Um, Searson is. I can't see him not dominating this fight with Farlig, so that could be a problem for Astralis, like it was with Try and Farlig. Um, we'll see how much they exploit that. But I do think that Searson, especially with the form he's in, is going to give Farlig some problems. So we'll see if Farlig has the confidence to stand up to him and doesn't shy away from those fights. They're pretty even historically, head to head, I believe. 5-4 there. Um, when we look at the maps, uh, Ancient and Dust 2 coming through quite a lot. Last time, both of those, previously, um, Dust 2 had been easy for Big, and Astralis seemed to finally get it this last time. But, you know, Ancient, yep, Ancient going Astralis' way most of the time. So let's look at the picks here, the map picks. I'm not sure about this veto exactly. Like I was discussing in the previous matchup, I don't know exactly where to find the seedings. Um, Here I'm just going off of the rankings, I guess, and like I said, I don't know. Take this with a grain of salt, but I'm assuming that Big is gonna veto first. Um, so if Big vetoes first, I think that they're going to veto either Ancient or Inferno, possibly. Inferno is great for Astralis, um, and so is Ancient. We discussed yesterday. It's been shaky for them recently, kind of, but historically they were considered one of the best Ancient teams, if not the best Ancient team, at some point within the last few months. Uh, it's it's fallen off a little bit, and the map has also changed. So we'll see how much that affects their style of play on Ancient. Those little changes, getting rid of the front temple entrance on A, getting rid of those boxes at the jump up to B lane. Um, those things can have big impact on the way that the map plays out. So that's something to watch. Um, Regardless, though, I don't think that Big likes Ancient. They're not. I think I've heard Tabson say they're not really fans of Ancient. They're not Ancient gamers. So Astralis could try to abuse that if it does come through. if Big floats it. Um, we've seen that Big are getting more confident to play on Inferno. They played against Cloud9 we were talking about. That was when they revealed that they were willing to play it, shocked everybody, and did the damn thing, got the upset. And then they played yesterday that we just looked at against Outsiders, and that didn't go as well. But still, they had a good showing, 13-16 against Outsiders, who are certainly favored to win on that map. So we'll see. Do they try it again? I don't think so. I don't think after yesterday losing to Outsiders on this that they're going to go for this again. So I would expect them to ban Inferno, and I would expect Astralis to ban Vertigo because that's a good map for Big. Big likes to play that a lot, I know. So, um, but the problem with that is if they ban Vertigo, they're gonna get Dust 2 picked by Big. So now we're in a situation where they have to beat Big on Dust 2, and they have done it before, but Big are like they're like the lords of Dust 2. They own this map. I think they're the best team on Dust 2 right now in the world, and they look like they've been getting better actually too. They were already the best at it, and then throughout the Rubet Cup, just some of the games I saw them play on Dust 2, their game against Cloud9, I think they played FaZe on it as well. Did they? Let's just take a look real quick. Yeah, yeah, they beat FaZe on Dust 2, and they also beat Cloud9 on Dust 2, and both of those looked very convincing. It's one of those things where it's just like the eye test. You really have to, if you haven't seen the match, just kind of go take a glance at those matches. Um, just the way that Big would execute on Dust 2, the way that their plans kind of unfold, it just looks, man, it's just beautiful German Counter-Strike. It's what it's supposed to be. Um, it's just so strategic, so well thought out. They're pushing multiple spots of the map at the same time, pulling the other team around. The other team is trying to figure out what's going on. They don't even know where the bomb's being planted, where it's going to end. A lot of the teams end up looking like that the John Travolta meme where he's like looking back and forth. They just don't know what's going on, and then next thing you know, they're all flashed. Big's running through mid, and they've pulled them all to CT. They're smoked off. So I really do like Big's play on Dust 2, and I think that if it goes there, they're probably gonna handle Astralis. Um, as we said, their last meeting, Astralis did squeak out a victory over them on Dust 2, which is impressive. But I think especially with Big's form and their recent recent showings they've had on Dust 2, I think it's going to be too much for them. Um, Nuke's very good for Astralis and Big here, so we could also see it go to that. Um, if Big picks Dust 2, I'm wondering what Astralis are going to pick. It could be. It depends on what Big bans, but I think Astralis could pick Ancient, they could pick Nuke, they could pick Vertigo, they could pick Inferno. Astralis do have a lot of choices here with what they want to pick into. They've got some good setups. Um, I'm sorry, did I say Astralis could pick Vertigo? Astralis is not picking Vertigo. I didn't mean that. But they could pick Ancient, they could pick Nuke, they could pick Inferno if that's not permabanned or banned right away. Um, so we'll see what happens there. Um, Nuke is a very good map for Big, but Astralis, I think they've always they kind of invented like how to play on Nuke way back in the day when they were, the Astralis, the actual Astralis. But I mean, they've kept the form up on that, and Big are also very good on that. But I think Astralis is on a 4-map win streak on Nuke. Can I check that somewhere? Yep. Oh yeah, it's right here. Um, Here we can look. 57% win rate, pretty good. 75% win rate, and then the 4-map win streak. So a lot of times Big will float this and let other teams pick it into them, or they'll leave it for the last map. So if that does come through, that could be an avenue for Astralis to squeak this series out. But it can also go the other way, because Big are good on it, and especially when Surson is playing well. Um, I've seen him get a lot of nice clutches on Nuke. He just plays those sites really well, and he just understands like the rotates and how to move around on that map. Um, I think the pick here, it's really too hard to pick a team in this one. Uh, I can't be super confident either way. I could see I could see either team taking it. I really could. I think the safest bet here is to go over 2.5 maps. So just essentially you're betting that it's not going to be a 2-0 by either team, which it could. I mean, it could be a 2-0 if depending on how the veto shakes out. Big just got 2-0'd yesterday, but I don't think that's going to be the case here, just because of you know the the openings for Astralis to get at least one map that Big are not good at, to get either Ancient to come through or to get Inferno to come through. I mean, Big is going to have to pick which one of these they wanna ban first, and then that's going to leave them open. Um, so we'll see what goes on there. But yeah, I think I'm going to take over 1.5 for this one. We've got the upset here. Yep. So that's gonna be it mostly. Oh, and we've got these other matches here, so these are gonna be later in the day, and it's hard to really give you too much on this one, just because we don't know who the team is gonna be that they have to play. So we'll have to wait and see that tomorrow. But I will say, as I think I said in the beginning, MOUZ should beat MIBR or TYLOO. In the case that TYLOO does upset MIBR, um, I think that's going to be easy for MOUZ. Less easy if it's MIBR. MIBR can definitely beat MOUZ. I think they're in kind of similar spots right now. MOUZ has I think overall they have better players. Just the quality of the players is a little better than MIBR. But that one is that's live for an upset, MOUZ versus MIBR. But I think MOUZ would take it still. I think Torzi is too strong. Um, so we'll pay attention to that. And then 00 Nation versus Order slash Imperial. So if it's Order, I think that's easy. It sucks. I feel like a broken record, but it is what it is, and really Order just doesn't have a chance against any of the teams in this tournament. They really should not beat anybody. So I'm gonna stick with that. Even though 00 Nation is, they're a new team and we don't know exactly what they're gonna show yet. Like on a consistent basis, they've had these good results so far. So far so good. But we'll see how long they can keep that up. And then Imperial versus 00 Nation. This is where it could get a little dicey. I would still favor 00 Nation because of what they have shown, and just because of the players. They have much younger players, much who are performing better more consistently. Imperial has shown good performances from some of their players, but those are more like flash in the pans at the major. I think Fur and a couple of the other guys had like really incredible performances. So it can happen, and especially it will be Brazil versus Brazil if that does happen. And we know that in these domestic matchups where you have two teams from the same country playing each other, crazy shit can happen. Even if one team is much better than the other one on paper, those upsets do come through sometimes. I don't know if that's because they scrim a lot, they play each other all the time, if it's because they have there's an overlap in style because they're coming from the same country. A lot of times the teams have a similar style, and it can cancel out some of the aspects that help them against other teams, other non-domestic teams. Those aspects are kind of found out or understood by the teams that are in the same country, and so it can open the door for the upsets. Um, but still, I think 00 Nation should take that if it is Imperial. Um, so that'll be one to watch out for. Okay, so we'll take a look at the odds here. Um, again, I went so long, but I like to give as much info as I can, and this is just supposed to help people make better decisions, be more informed, and it's a discussion really. So if anyone has any input or thinks something I said was dumb or they agree or whatever, just leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If anyone knows how to find the seating again, I would really appreciate that. Um, and I'm in the future, I'm going to try to get these up a little bit sooner. Um, it is just rough because you don't know what the matchups are going to be until in the evening, the day of, and then you got to get the video out for the next day. So we'll do what we can. We're gonna get better. We're gonna get quicker. Um, but anyway, here I've got a greasy 4-leg parlay here. We did well yesterday with the parlays. We had two parlays and they both hit. One of them was insane, plus 2,400. Um, and we're not gonna hit those every time. That's just a fact. If you're coming here because you think you're going to get perfect picks every time, it's not going to happen. It doesn't happen with anybody. Even the greatest gamblers in the world, top tier, top 5 gamblers in the world, they're wrong 45% of the time. So, you know, you're looking for that 5% where you can uh, beat the house, and you just gotta, you know, manage your money correctly and try to go for value. So we're going for Vitality over Sprout. I just think Vitality needs to win this, and I think they will. I think their map pool is better. Sprout can come in with the odd upset, but I just don't think that they have the quality of player to stand up to someone like ZywOo. So we're going with Sprout, or I'm sorry, we're going with Vitality. We're going with Vitality. We're not going with Sprout. And then we're going with over 2.5, Big versus Astralis. Um, it's too hard, as you can see from the odds. It's a very close match. You can play it live, maybe go for swing odds. Maybe if you see a team on their map pick or something like that, maybe if it goes to nuke and you see one team is down a few rounds and the odds are too high for them, maybe take a shot on that. It's you just really have to look for value. That's the best advice I can give when it comes to that. Maybe sometime we'll do like a live stream where we do live odd betting because that really is where a lot of the money is made in Counter Strike betting. You know, I wish I had like a graph where you could see if they would show both teams and the odds that each team had in a particular match. I feel like you would see that a lot of the time, even for teams that lose, at some point they were heavily favored on the odds in the live odds. So there's always opportunities to get good odds, even on the teams that are going to dominate the series. You just have to really snipe your spot. Like, a lot of times it happens in the opening if uh, say Vitality loses the pistol round and then they force buy and they lose that round, so now they're down 0-2, and then they have to save and now they're down 0-3, and then they lose the next round and they're down 0-4. That a lot of times that is where you need to take your shot, because once they get going on the gun rounds, once the guns come in and they stabilize, then that's when the stomp starts to come through, when they stabilize and they start to play their game. But it's not uncommon to see teams go down, 0-3, 0-4, 0-5, and then come back and look relatively comfortable and win the way they should. So something to keep in mind there. Just try to pick your spots and try not to overexpose yourself, especially at bad odds. Just try to be smart with your money and take the shots where they are. So over 2.5, Big versus Astralis, MIBR versus TYLOO. I think MIBR should really take it. Um, Not much else to say about that. Imperial versus Order, they should really take that as well. Um, so, plus 350, not a bad parlay. Um, Aside from that, um, let's take a look here. You've got all these props here, crazy props. Maybe if Fnatic were playing, if JW were playing, old Fnatic, this would be something to look at. I've often wished that I was more into this when Fnatic were a team like the classic Fnatic with JW, because that guy was going for knife kills all the time. And the odds on knife kills, I mean, 3 more knife kills in the series plus 2,000. I wonder how many times that hit for Fnatic. And I wonder if they would have adjusted it. But anyway, yeah, you have all these ridiculous props. I don't really advise anybody to get too involved with this. This is more like for fun. Um, the amount of times that you're going to hit these, insane props and stuff like that. It's pretty few and far between. So I'd manage your money well, just to kind of avoid these, even like the pistol round props and things like that. Even when you look at like you can look at map stats and you'll see like, oh, this team, they're terrible in this map and they have a 20% pistol win rate, and this team has like a 60% pistol win rate. Oh, I'm gonna bet them to win both pistol rounds. Like a lot of times you'll find that it doesn't mean anything and it doesn't come through. Um, so I wouldn't expose yourself too much to things like that. Um, I was gonna say maybe you want to take a shot on a map score here, but it's not great either way for Imperial. If you wanted to go for the 2-0, you don't really get much value out of that. And then the 1-2, yeah, same. I would probably just stay away. Yeah, I might just play over 1.5 here on big versus Astralis. I'd maybe look for Vitality to go down a map and then take a shot on them. Same with MIBR. And then we got that 4-leg parlay. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. So I apologize I don't have more straight bets for you, but so far there haven't been great opportunities here. Nothing I'm too confident about. I think it's better to kind of go for the higher percentage plays and just take small shots with good odds here. We hit yesterday, so we'll see how we do today. Take a look here real quick before we go. Minus 112. Maybe you wait live for them to go down and take a shot on the 2-0 for Vitality if we can get it to like plus 150, plus 200. But yeah, I hope that at least if nothing else, if didn't get any fantastic straight bets, I hope it at least gives you an idea of what to look for in some of these matches. Just get you a little more informed, and then you can kind of decide for yourself how you want to approach it. And if anyone has any input, anyone's got any picks that they think are good, you think you got some good parlays, things like that, just drop them in the comments. I'm happy to talk about all this stuff with anyone. I love discussing it and just picking people's brains, getting different ideas. Just make everybody better. We just all got to get better, and I think we're doing that. So. God bless everybody. Thanks for listening. I know it went long again. I'm going to try to get better at making these shorter and being more concise. But there's a lot to talk about sometimes. There's so much that goes into betting on Counter-Strike, um, and I like to discuss all of it. So again, thank you for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Anything, even if you think it was bad, just let me know. I'll try to improve. Hit the like button, smash that subscribe button, tell people, post it around. Thank you so much. All right. Big Green Counter Strike Bets signing off. Thanks, guys.